welcome. This is Amanda, the Nerdy Krafter, and I'm here today with our June Make It Simple Monday release. And this month we are going a little summer vibe. So I think the initial was lighthouses and seagulls, but we've kind of shifted it up a little bit to just beaches in general. So bring out all of your fun beach stamps and see what we've got. So I brought out a few of mine and some that I've never used. I'm sure this shocks everybody. But I haven't used my foundations that much, so I wanted to pull out this foundation stamp. Here's from our recent throwback that we just had. So these ones are a lot of fun. I'm loving these Adirondack chairs and so excited to play with those. This is one of the old Windows ones, and it is so cute. It's got the little Adirondacks in here, so I think I'm going to pull this one in. I think this is a retired one. I do like to pull out some of the retired so that you, if you've purchased them in the past and you want to pull them out and start using them, you have that ability. And these are also retired. So these are the Circlet Mini Trifolds. So I've got one that's more of a beach theme and one that is a lighthouse theme. So I may be pulling out one of these. My Bible journaling line, which I love to pieces. This is the original lighthouse one that came in, and then there's a newer one that came out more recently also. And then we can't go on without looking at our AI people. This is Lounging Linda, and she is just lounging out at that beach and enjoying life. So she is another one that I might bring in. I want to challenge myself a little bit this month and try some stuff that I don't normally try. So like the foundations, I love these windows. I may try a circle or Linda. Debbie and I have decided to go ahead and split our each Monday again. So you'll see her one Monday and me one Monday, which is fabulous. But that means we only have 5 Mondays this month, so 2 for her, 2 for me, and then we may both do the last one. I'm going to see if this will work in my mini stamp press. If not, I'm going to need to go pull my main one. Oh, that would just work perfectly. This is the We Are mini stamp platform. I absolutely love it. I use it quite often. It sits right on my desk. It works perfect. And I did find it. I think Amazon and scrapbook.com have it. So if you're looking for a travel size stamp positioner, one that you'd like to have in your collection, this is definitely one I highly recommend. So we're going to place this right in here. And let's get to stamping. So I have been doing the ATC size cards up until now. But, see, I'd like to have that centered a little bit, but I can't do that because it's going to take it right off the page. You know, it may be close. Let's try it. Let's see what we can do. I may be able to get that to ink up right on that outside edge. I can't remember what I was saying. But this one is, oh, ATC size. I'm here now. But this one is a foundation stamp, so it needs to be just a hair bit bigger. So that's why we're going to pull in our stamp positioner. Now my decision is, do I want to stamp this in ink and then, or do I want to do it with the pens? I think I'm going to do a combination. So I'm going to start off with some ink, just kind of, it helps me see the lines, and at least I'm getting an outline in case I miss any areas. And this lets me see what I'm going to be able to ink up to. Oh, my ink pad looks like it is bone dry. I think I have the re-inker for it, so I'm going to have to re-ink this. Okay, well that deals with that issue. So, okay, so do I want this to be more of a gray or a brown? It looks like Bonnie did more of the brown base here, but I like the gray. For me, the gray is my go-to, so let's do the gray. And so that is the 969. And I'm getting that up all over here. And I'm just going to tap that one off. And then I'm going to come in with 565. Same thing, I'm just going to tap, tap. I'm going to bring my stamping platform in and just press this down. And I'm not pressing hard, I'm just giving it a second to seep into the paper. Looks like it does need a little bit more pressure. And I missed a few areas here. Okay, so it looks like around the door needs a little more inking up. The top of the umbrella needs a little bit more work. The Adirondack looks good. So just our little background here and our house. Especially when we're working with this big images, I do like this stamp positioner for this purpose. And that door is just not, so I must have an air pocket. So sometimes if you get an air pocket behind your stamp, it won't stamp very well. So let's try one more time. I'm going to bring in a little bit more brown. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Check the doorway a little bit. And there we go. So these lines are super dark, so I'm going to be super careful pulling out from the lines now because I got those lines super dark. But that's okay. I had somebody ask me the other day, how many times do I throw away a card because I don't like the way that it turned out? And I told them it's very, very rare that I'll throw away a card because I don't like the way it came out, because there's so much we can do to fix it. So I want you to remember that we can fix almost anything, and it's okay to have boo-boos, mistakes, opportunities to embellish, however you want to look at it. So I'm activating my brush right here, pinching all that extra water off. Then I'm going to come in with a wet brush, and I want to come into my darker areas. So again, under the eaves is going to be the darkest. And I'm being super light here because again, these lines are a little darker than normal. Underneath my little scallops. These windows are going to be dark. I'm going to darken those bad boys in. Around my door. And I kind of look at wherever the artist has given me like a double line really close together. My brain says if I've gotten a double line close together, that should be a darker area. Pulling out a little bit of color from my pots. And this is just my base to get the color pulled out. Gives me kind of where my shadows are. Now this is a bigger scene, so it does take just a little bit longer to work on. I'm taking each section individually, not crossing over my lines. So with my Adirondack chair, I can either go with like a brown or I can leave it quote unquote white. Now in nature, nothing is actually white. There's always some shading and shadows on it, so I may just leave it this grayscale. I'm putting a shadow where that hat's going over. So you did see I crossed the lines there because I was putting a shadow for that hat. Okay, so I got the bases pulled out here. So now we got to decide on what color I want my house to be. And to make this faster, I think I'm going to do the same with the chair. I'm going to leave it a white and just add some accents to it, similar to the picture that we have. So let's go with, I like the idea of the 346. And I want to do that for my little shingles. Now these are tiny, so you can always bring in your number 1 or your number 0 brush if you'd like a little more control. And then I'm going to do the same to the roof, but I'm going to water that down a little, so that's why I got a little bit of water. I'm going to tap out, and I'm going to brush in. There's summer vibes going on, so we want some bright, fun colors in here. Now, I do try to keep a simple palette, so if I'm going to be doing something like this, where I've got a big image, to keep it simple, I'm going to only bring in a few different colors. That helps me work faster, and that way I'm not switching out colors all over the place, and it still looks very cohesive. So we're trimming out this house in this beautiful 346. Perfect. Grab a little bit of gray. Think of your sunscreen. Then I'm going to add a window over here, and it's going to be a backwards window. So 526. So instead of putting the panes or the outline in, I'm going to put the little window panes in. I'm just going to put little rectangles. They don't have to be even. Remember, this is watercolor, so watercolor means uneven, coloring outside the lines. We're seeing a little bit of light coming in. Perfect. Okay, so now our umbrella. I think I'm going to do like a kaleidoscope of colors. So 635 for this first one. Just tapping in some of that color. Darker is going to be down at the bottom. The sun's hitting it from the top. Darken it in down here. Push that color back and back. And then let's bring in the 636 purple. Purple is my favorite color. I'm going to put the band on the hat in that purple. We're just going to be all matchy-matchy. Beautiful. Okay. For our pots, let's see what colors we want to go with. I think we just stick with the theme we're going with and keeping it simple color palette. So I'm going to bring in some more of that 636. And I'm going to filter this one in back here. And right here. Now I'm not going to watercolor this yet for this back pot because I'm going to need some room to add my foliage, and then I'll watercolor this back one in. So actually no, we can see through it. Never mind. Let's do it. Because it would be colored and then we'll stamp on top of it, so it's okay. Perfect. Again, just doing another layer of dark back here. Really darkening up these sides to help it round it out. And then we're going to bring in the 685. And when I started, I did have some ink on my palette from previously. To reactivate that, all I have to do is add a little bit of water. So when I travel, I like to have my palette all ready. Got a little goober on there. Round out that bottom layer. Okay, now let's bring in our brown again. So this is our 969. I'm going to do like a straw hat. So to do that, I'm going to do hatch marks on there, and I'm going to bring in my smaller brush for this one. So this is my number 0. So think of like a straw hat. So I'm going to follow the curvature. See how these lines are curving? I'm following the curvature of the hat. Kind of like a plaid. Doing some cross hatching here, going both directions. There we go. Kind of cute. Something a little different there. Okay, I'm going to stick with the number 1 because I've got my little sailboats back here. My sails I'm going to leave white, so just bring in just a little bit of the gray. Now we do have water out in the background, so what color do I want my boats to be? Let's do one of them the same as a house. So the one furthest away, I'm going to bring in that 346. And the one closest, I will do the purple. Actually, I can add a little bit of line art onto it so that they kind of match. Perfect, perfect. Okay, So now we need to build up the beach, and let's do our pots first. So if I were my stamps, where would I be? Okay, so I'm going to bring in, this here is my Bible journaling foliage and flower set. So 5073 and 5074. And then I also have on the back here my Bible foliage set too, so I may bring in some of the vines from here, because I don't think I use those vines that often. So let's do that. Let's bring in these little vines here. $2.49. I'm just hitting the tip of this. Now you can use your Post-it note tape to map some of that off if you want. Sometimes even looking at it upside down like this helps you kind of figure out where things need to go. That middle pot, I'm going to bring in my mini flower set. I'm going to use this one for that. Now this one I do want to mask off because this one goes down a little bit lower. $7.25, my really bright pink for this one. There we go. And then for flowers, this is a different flower. I don't use this one very often, so let's pull this one. And this one comes from the Bible foliage set, or flower set. It's these little flowers here, so let's try that one. I'm just gonna ink up 2 of those. Ooh, that is cool. And I'm gonna do this in 2 different colors. Ooh, let's do a light blue for this one. Cool, very different. I like that. I am trying to step out of my comfort zone and try new things, so that is good. Gonna bring back in my number 4 brush. I'm gonna just mix these colors in. So I'm gonna tap in my pinks. I'm gonna travel my pink over to the blue so that I transfer a little bit of that. Just tap it a few times, clean off, and then just tap in the green a little bit. Now I do need to pick up a little bit of green from my palette, so $2.49. Because there's supposed to be a little bit of green grass underneath here that didn't quite make it in with that stamp. So it's okay, I'm just going to tap it in, so I'm going to build it in myself. And then let's grab some grass. And I'm going to use some tall grass here because we are at the beach. And I want that grass to be more on the brownie side because we're beaching it and there's going to be a lot of sand in here. And then for perspective purposes, I'm going to grab my smaller grass. Put some of that up here by the house. So growing that grass nice and tall. Let's ground these out. Okay, now using the inspiration piece, we want to kind of give a little walkway here. Building out a little bit of a walkway. Got some beach going up to the ocean. I'm not filling in everything because I want it to still look kind of organic, but just bring in a little bit more. Like our sky, when we build our sky in, just with the brown instead of the blue for now. Very nice. And just a little bit more. Working our way right on down there. Okay. Let's see, what else? Let's add some foliage around that house there. And let's grab some more from the Bible Foliage Set 2 set. Think about some climbing vines going up the house here. Very nice. Excuse me. And then I bring in the little flower dots here. I like to put the flowers in before I watercolor the green, or else the green kind of gets away and I don't have room to put the flowers in, so that's why I'm going back and forth with putting green in first and then coming back and putting in the flowers before I watercolor it. Some beautiful climbing flowers right along this house. Again, sticking to my color palette, keeping it simple. I'm going to hit my flowers first, and I'm going back and forth from pink to purple so they kind of blend a little bit. Clean the brush and just tap on that green a couple times. Okay, so I like that. Now let's put a little bit of decoration on our umbrellas. Again, if you can see, I'm doing kind of a curve shape to my lines. Sometimes just adding in a little bit of detail makes all the difference in the world. Okay, so now let's go work on our sea and our sky. So I'm coming in here and I'm plopping in my water. I'm going to bring my 526 in. This one I definitely want more water for. Get the sky to move a little bit and really get the water to move. Leaving whites in there. Bring in my 565. Underside of the clouds are going to be a little darker. Instead of putting the 565 in the ocean, I'm just going to add some darker layers in here with the 526. Okay, the next thing I want to do is I want to bring in my white, my bleed proof white. And I have another water container here because that white contaminates my water. Tap in some of this white here. Think it fit as those waves cresting. Tap in a couple times to the flowers. a little bit of white pebbles for the sand. Just adds a little texture, and I'm trying to hit where the darker spots are here. Off real good. And I did notice I need a little bit more sand down here at the bottom. Just a little extras here and there. Okay. I'm trying to decide, in the picture we have some more foliage going up over the house, so I think we're going to add that. It's speaking to me, so I'm going to bring in a teeny tiny little foliage. This comes from the Bible journaling set. Trail those little flowers right on up too. Like I was saying earlier, you know, very rarely do I throw a piece away because you can always fix it. So you can keep coming in and building on this. So say I walk away and a couple days from now I'm like, oh, I missed this, or I should add this. You can always come back and add to it until you set this. What I'm seeing here is right here, there should be some water coming in right behind. little too much dark in there. I want a little bit lighter for the sky up there. Try to separate it color-wise so it's got a little bit different color texture to it. There we go. Okay. Okay, give that just a second to dry up a little bit. Just bringing some grayscale in. Little shadows. Nice. Okay. I think I'm feeling good. So the last thing I want to come in with is my twin tone. Darken in a few areas. So we got our doorknob there that I didn't catch before. I'm just going to help these eaves pop a little bit. Add a little more crosshatch into this hat. Just gives it a little bit more texture. It's amazing how just coming in and just darkening up a few lines, defining a few little things, really is that last piece that makes this image pop. I remember when I first started watercoloring, we didn't bring anything off of a palette on. It was just whatever you inked up. And when we started pulling in colors from a palette, oh, I was so afraid. I was like, I can't do that. That's like actual painting. No, no, no. And now I feel so comfortable bringing stuff in. So don't think you can't do this. You've got it. Just baby steps, a little bit at a time. And just have fun. Remember, this is fun. It's relaxing. It does not need to be perfect. It is just fun, fun, fun. And here we go. Our first Make It Simple Monday watercolor image for June, which is our beach theme, having fun. It could be sailboats, it could be seagulls. Ooh, speaking of seagulls, let's bring in, from this set, my Fortress set, there are some cute little seagulls that we can bring into the background. Just kind of see which direction's up on these. There we go. And I'm not stamping all of them, so I'm just using a smaller block so I can just get a few of them in here. And we've got our seagulls. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me again. My name is Amanda, the Nerdy Crafter, and I'm here with our Make It Simple Monday. Come join along. Come have fun. Pull out your art impression stamps or any stamps that you have and just have fun. Remember, this fun is what this is all about, using what you have and exploring new things. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful day, and I will catch you later.